What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great day, a great Wednesday. We can figure out what day it is here this week. Thanks for the Monday Night Football throwing me off, but appreciate you all taking the time here, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great week so far. Appreciate you hitting the like button, sharing this stuff, becoming members, all that stuff. I really cannot thank you enough. The support really means the world to me. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you taking this wild ride with me through a very up and down season, but I'm still up, man. 7-2 atop the NFC. I'm all about it, baby. But we've got ourselves a very tough opponent here this week, so we're here to talk about it behind enemy lines. And wanted to mix the injury report. The initial injury report, of course, comes out on Wednesdays with this show. But the Eagles are now the team that never wants to put out their injury report. So I'll post it down in the comments. I'll also make it its own post then. But we're here to talk about the Lions anyway. One piece of news that did happen, my guy Ja'Cory Bennett has now officially come off of IR. As I told you, it needed to happen before 4 o'clock today or his season was over. So he is now back on the 53-man roster. And that spot was opened up by, Jair Alexander going to the reserve retired list. We talked about that yesterday. We'll talk about it more tomorrow as well during the top matchup show. And then on Fan Friday, I will be live to talk to all of you then. But feel free to give me your thoughts down below. Have any questions you want to add, whatever, down below is the way to go. But let's start her off with the Lions. At least they have their injury report out, so we can take a gander at that. And they've got a bunch of injuries and things going on and a bunch of guys on their injury lists. A couple of guys had their 21-day practice windows open, though. Some big names. Marcus Davenport hasn't played since like week 2. DJ Reed, another big piece, a great addition for them this offseason. So 2 pieces that could be back for this game Sunday night. We'll find out, but their 21-day windows were open. Now, let's look at their injury report to start the weekend. I had to make 2 lists. So here's the list of guys that did not practice. So Terry and Arnold, Aiden Hutchinson, Joseph, Laporta, Sewell, Vaki, and Wright. Holy, that's a bunch of starters. So you're going to hope that these guys are healthy, ready to go. Don't want any excuses for this ass beating coming your way. But hope they get healthy. That's a lot of really important names there. Did not practice today, but always keep you up to date Thursday and Friday to see, because if these guys become limited or full, obviously a much better chance of playing. So I'll keep you up to date with that. Now let's take a look at the guys that were limited and one guy that was a full participant. And Malcolm Rodriguez on the PUP list currently, he has his window activated, so we'll see if he comes off. He was a full participant. You got Pascal, Frazier, also guys that are looking to come off their respective injury lists. So a bunch of injuries here, looking that like they might get some of these guys back, so that would be great news. A lot of these pieces here. And again, I'll keep you up to date with all of this stuff here. But let's take a look at what this team looks like, and let's see how they've done so far this season. And we're hopeful to see them last year in the playoffs, but just couldn't make it that far. So, well, we'll see if they got the juice to hang with the big dogs here on Sunday. But Dan Campbell, who just recently, last week, took over play calling from John Morton in that West Coast style, spreadish type offense. A nice blend of those things. But Kelvin Shepard here, a defensive coordinator I really like, man. I like his aggressiveness. These guys are really physical. Going to be interesting to see. And then former Eagles special teams coordinator Dave Phipps still over there in Detroit. So let's take a look now at the team itself. Now, before I show you the depth chart, let's take a look at these injury lists that I was mentioning. You will not see any of these players on their depth chart. So you can see Zach Cunningham joined them this year. He has been on IR. Davenport that we just talked about. You got Dorsey. You got a couple rookies there, and Jackson and Robe Chambeau. I don't know, but Robichaud there. You got Jones, Christian Mahogany. What is this, dude? Giovanni Manu, Enos Raker. I feel like I'm watching an episode of Key and Peele. I'm not sure what's happening, but you've got a bunch of players there on IR. You can see the ones with asterisks. They have the ability to come off of their list. We'll see if they do that. You got Josh Pascal there on the non-football injury list, getting closer to coming back. So they could get a lot of reinforcements for this game, but keep in mind, those names will not be on this list upcoming here, the depth chart. So starting off with the offense, anybody in silver there, you can see our new additions to the team this year. So really just added some depth pieces. They do use Brock Wright as a fullback every now and again. Not really a fullback on the roster, but they do use one sometimes. But yeah, you can see Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond there. Obviously, the running back duo of Gibbs and Montgomery, best in the league. Those are two studs. So we're going to have to do our best to shut them down. This offense will get them the ball, whether it's handing it to them, passing it to them. That's a big piece of, the Morton Campbell offense here, getting these running backs and tight ends involved, not just the receivers in this pass game. So they'll come at you in a plethora of ways. And a tight end like Laporta, oh my sweet baby Lord. And they will use 12 personnel with Brock Wright in there. Maybe a little 13 thrown at you with Dwelly there. And then you see the offensive line, former Eagle, Coyote Awasika there. A follower of On the Road to Victory. Hope he's doing well out there. But a couple guys banged up on this line. Decker, Sewell, Glasgow. So we'll see. And then Tate Ratledge. Remember talking about him before the draft out of Georgia, starting their right guard for the Lions. And then on the defensive side of the ball, could get a bunch of pieces back we talked about. That'd be great for them. Right now, the way they're rocking it, Robertson will play some nickel. Rocky Sin, Arthur Mollett will come in. Avonte Maddox gets a little bit of reps. Terry Arnold just got banged up with a concussion. So that's why he missed practice. That's unfortunate. He could miss this game. We'll see if they can get anybody back here. But, yeah, you can see all of the defensive depth pieces they added there. Got a guy, Tyler Lacey, who is now starting. But this is a very formidable team here. Brian Branch, one of the better safeties. Young guy. They've got some stud linebackers. Would be a huge blow, though, if Terry and Arnold were to not play in this game. But let's take a look now at the special teams unit and could get themselves back Jacob Sailors. We'll see if he is healthy for this one. But, again, I'll keep you up to date with all of those injuries throughout the week. That is what their special teams department looks like. And then the practice squad and any moves that are made, I will try my best to follow all of their reporters and make sure I keep you up to date with all of this stuff. No running backs. Got a bunch of offensive linemen. You notice they didn't have a bunch of depth there at offensive line, but they do have a bunch on their practice squad that they can elevate. And then a few defensive players, as you can see there. So that's what the team looks like. That's who we'll be facing. And I will, again, each day update those injuries. And on Friday, you'll see the game status report, who's out and who's questionable. Now let's take a look at how the Lions have been doing so far this season. And again, we know how well, this offense has been doing. Second in points, 6 in total yards. But I guess Campbell wants to put his spin on things and get even better, because they could be better. They've had their mistakes, but not turning the ball over too much, not giving up too many sacks. A really good offense. And the defense is playing pretty well too. 13th in points, so not the greatest, but 7th in yardage. And, they're getting this team wins, and you can see getting sacks. 4th in the league with 3.3. We talk about their aggressiveness. They're going to come at us. And 1.3 turnovers per game has them tied for 10th in the league. So doing pretty well so far this year. And we know what kind of firepower they have. We know what kind of team they are. And, they are not a team to sleep on. The Eagles, everybody's going to be gunning for us. This is every team's Super Bowl here. So they're going to bring it. And they just got the number 1 spot here in their division. So they're going to try to hold on to that. The Packers losing to the Eagles drops them all the way from 1 to 3. The Bears, they're at 2. At 6 and 3, that's wild. We got them coming up as well, and the Cowboys in the next couple of games after the Lions. So some good matchups here. And then in the NFC as a whole, we, of course, number 1. But the Lions there at number 3, trying to climb their way up into that top spot. But this will be a game that'll help us really separate from the pack. That'd be nice. But, again, do not sleep on this team. I don't think they will. But, they've had their offensive struggles. We talk about coming out of the bye, trying to do certain things, and maybe wouldn't be able to just because that Packers defense is so freaking good, top 3 in the NFL. We saw that on display. People can complain about everything they want to, and Tula sucks, A.J. Brown sucks, Jalen Hurts sucks, everybody sucks. Don't care. They definitely got to keep improving and getting better, but I remember last year when everyone wanted to get rid of Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio before they were allowed time. That's fine. I'll give this offense time before I give up on the season. Ain't doing that, I can tell you that much. And then the defense, Man, youngest defense in the NFL. We talked about all season, giving it time and being patient, getting some guys back from injury, how we work in his magic. Let's let those pieces all come in. And the defense did awesome last week, and we talked about that, but the offense a little stagnant. So just be patient out there, ladies and gentlemen. I know the media is going to try to get everybody riled up, but if you want to stick with me and the birds, let me see those 2 words down below, because we're flying to the top, baby, with or without these shitbirds. But I appreciate all you sickos and hope you're having yourselves a fantastic week. If you need anything, it does not have to be about the Eagles. I'm always here for you guys, as you are for me. Anything. Just need a friend. You're struggling, hard times, reach out. I always want to be there for you guys. So if you do reach out, I don't see it, reach out again. Let me know. I always want to be there for you guys. You're always here for me. So I thank you for that. And if you guys got anything from this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe, memberships, all of it, man. I hate saying it. It's annoying to ask for it, but it does help. And they show that the studies show when you say it, then people do actually remember to like it. So I appreciate it. I really do. And I love you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow for that tab matchup show, unless anything crazy happens. But until that next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!